And now, live from the 13 Now Digital News Desk, this is the Friday Night Fever Afterburn, sponsored by Beef O'Brady's.
Welcome to the Friday Night Fever Afterburn show. It really is an afterburn because I know you and me, Sam, are feeling it, right? After all those games.
It's been a long day and, 8 matchups over there.
8 matchups, yeah. We had a lot.
Day.
Yeah.
Long Friday.
Yeah, thank goodness it's Friday, right? But we're in week 5 of the season, which means we're at the halfway point, right? I mean, we're literally halfway through. I can't believe that we were so far through the season already, but man, we are really getting down to that crunch time for some of these teams. I mean, we still have a lot of teams that are very competitive in this area, right, Sam?
Oh, yeah. Like you said earlier today, this is kind of the day where those good teams and great teams kind of separate themselves from the pack. And, a lot of big matchups today that kind of, could really play out playoff time, especially the game that I was at tonight. This could really, set the tone for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I love that. Well, let's get into some. I know everyone wants to see the scores from tonight, so we're going to get straight into those. Hey, Nessie. Hey, Gary. Hey, Coach Olds. And hey, Crystal from Port St. Joe. Hey, Crystal, your team doing really well tonight. 34-2, the final score against Rutherford. Man, I know, Sam, we got to talk about this for a second real quick here.
They allowed to.
Sam said, I'm very upset they allowed to because earlier this week we talked to Port St. Joe and head coach Tanner Jones. He sat down with us and we talked about their defense because every other game they've played, the defense has allowed zero points.
They still technically allowed 0 points.
They still technically allowed 0 points tonight. But I mean, he said to you, what did he say this week?
He said, shutouts are a big deal. It gives our offense kind of ability to do whatever we want. It doesn't matter if the other team scores 2 or 30, and tonight they scored 2, so they still scored.
They still scored. But hey, great win for Port St. Joe. They are still undefeated on the year. So man, I'm still waiting for a team that's going to give them some trouble, going to make it a close one with them. I don't think anybody will for right now, right?
I completely agree. And I see Lance in the comments talking about his boy Weston, down there.
Yeah.
That defense, they're no joke.
They are
the offense clearly doing the job as well.
Okay, we got to give credit to the offense. They're getting the scores
the 5
there.
5 games, 2 points.
I'd say that's a pretty good defense. I'd like to take that defense on my high school fantasy team right there. That's the Port St. Joe defense. That's what I'm taking tonight. Hey, Gina. Hey, Mickey. Yeah, no Bluntstown game tonight, but they are also still undefeated. Let's talk about another. Oh, Sam's mom is on. Hello, Sam's mom. Go Mosley. Yeah, do we have the Mosley score from tonight? I don't mean to go against all of these ones, but another team staying undefeated tonight is Mosley. 49-0 over Mobile Christian. Now, this was their first game outside of Bay County. They went all the way over to Alabama. It was a nice little road test for them to see how they do against a team from a different state. And while they didn't keep their streak of 42 points, they've scored 42 points in the last few games. They scored 49 tonight. I'm looking at whoever put on that last touchdown there. But they still did an amazing job. We got some of the highlights in the show. If you want to throw those up, Spencer, we can while we talk about that. Mosley, if you want to throw up, we had a few highlights from that Mosley game over there. Yeah, in Mobile tonight.
And, like you said, this is their first game outside of Bay County this year.
I thought it was a real test.
They've either played at Tommy Oliver or Gadlack Stadium so far this season, and then they travel all the way over to Mobile today. They get a nice little visit at South Alabama this afternoon, and then go in and just completely take care of business.
I know. I mean,
49-0.
I would have liked to watch this game in its entirety just to see. I mean, from all sides of things. We only got a little bit sent by our friends over WKRG, but man, I would have loved to see just how every touchdown was scored, who got touches on the balls. Well, it would be nice to see those stats. Hopefully, we can get Coach Tommy Joe Whitten to send us those stats. From the game tonight. But I see a few more people. We got a lot of people talking tonight. How did the Baker Gators do, Courtney? Well, they won last night in overtime. I believe we have that final score, too. I remember they won by 1 point.
49-48.
49-48. I want to say it's 49-48. Sorry, we don't want to make sure we get it correctly here for you guys. But, man, I love seeing the Baker Gators. They're not technically in our coverage area, so I want to, point that out.
Right.
But, man, what a freaking team, man. I love it. I'm just I want to see them play in person.
Yeah, and see in the comments them shouting out Caleb Wagner, and he's getting national attention. Derrick Henry, shouting him out this week.
Derrick Henry. I mean, we actually have that soundbite too, right, Spencer? Yeah, so this is before Spencer plays it, our good producer over here. I do want to say let's set this up because earlier this week, not only does the Panhandle get mentioned in an NFL press conference, but a Panhandle running back gets mentioned by, the best. I would say best in the game right now. So Derrick Henry mentions Caleb Wagner because he broke his record last Friday night. He rushed for 535 yards in their game against South Walton, and then that was beating Derrick Henry's record of 502, and he does it all with one hand. Caleb was born without a left hand. Exactly so, I mean, man, that's amazing. Let's play that soundbite.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I thought it was really cool. I got to talk to him a little bit on Instagram, and hopefully he breaks some more. But that's really cool. Definitely an inspiration to me, and I'm sure he's an inspiration to his team and everybody over there in that community. So it's definitely cool to see, and hopefully I can do something for him in these upcoming weeks. But I love to see it. So yeah, Florida boys are different. So I knew somebody would come around and break it eventually. Situation. Yeah, I think it's.
Now I heard that. I read some of their Instagram messages with each other, and I think he's going to give him some swag. He gave him a shout out on Twitter as well. So I would love to see Derrick Henry in the Panhandle.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Y'all can come on down to our station. We can do a nice little feature.
Yeah, we can do.
If
Derrick Henry is watching our Friday Night Fever Afterburn tonight, just know we would love to have you on the show. So.
He's exactly right. Florida boys. Are in fact different.
they really are. Jamie, Port St. Joe and Blountstown would be a great matchup. We don't actually get that. They haven't scheduled anything this year, but we could see them match up. We could see them match up in the postseason. That is a legit game that could happen in postseason play.
Right, I completely agree. And, both of those teams just clearly, obviously, Blountstown has the night off. So, but like we saw in the comments earlier, Blountstown undefeated. Even though they didn't play tonight.
They're still undefeated. Port St. Joe's still undefeated, and obviously Mosley is what we're going to throw them in there because they're in our area too. That's amazing. Michael Webb says Cole Horton had 3 passing touchdowns for Mosley. I saw on Max Preps. Michael, I do see those stats on Max Preps, but I want to put out a disclaimer real quick. Some of those stuff that gets put in on Max Preps isn't always confirmed on Friday nights. So that's why we don't go over them on the show. We don't put them in the show because we don't actually know if they're correct. Anybody can go in on Max Preps and put in any score. They can put in any stats. Not saying that anybody would lie about that.
It's like a sports Wikipedia.
It's like a sports Wikipedia a little bit. On Monday and Tuesday, those things get confirmed and double checked by the coaches and players, and that's when those get locked in. When the coaches put them in on the next days and in the weekends to come. That's why we don't mention them on the show, but I could very well see Cole Horton having 3 passing touchdowns for Mosley tonight. That doesn't seem unrealistic. Maybe even more,
Oh, yeah. All we saw in the highlights, the only score we saw from those highlights was a pick 6, but I'm sure the offense, I'm sure they got it done as well. But, again, Mosley, 49-0, very impressive now.
Seriously impressive tonight. Sorry, I'm going through your comments just to make sure I haven't missed anyone. Crystal, shout out to Liberty County High School as well. Go Bulldogs. She's shouting them out, even though she's a Port St. Joe or from Port St. Joe as well. So that's great. Let's go over some of these other scores. South Walton absolutely dominating over Bay tonight, 42-7. I think Bay's still struggling after Will Smiley. I know we talk about it a lot on this show, but their quarterback out for the rest of the season with an injury. So it's really they're trying to find their identity right now. They have other weapons and Kenneth Hutcherson and things like that, but still, I think you're going up against South Walton with a team with so many offensive weapons who lost to Baker by just 1 point, obviously in that game that Caleb Wagner went off.
That was the final score that I had on my head, 49-48. That's the wrong one.
Their score, and Spencer, say it again for me, Baker beat 43-42 over Northview last night. So that's who Baker beat.
They know how to win.
Baker knows how to win. I'm scared to see Baker match up with Blountstown. I'm excited because that will be the best matchup. I think that's if I'm counting correctly, week 7 or 8.
Right.
I think
you're right.
I think I'm right. I'd have to look at the schedule, but man, that is one that I'm so excited to watch. That will be our game of the week. I'm going to say it here, first of all. That's going to be our game of the week. And Sam, I'm just so excited you get to see Caleb Wagner and do his thing in person. Oh man, that's going to be so cool. North Bay Haven taking down Cottondale tonight, 13-6, and that score was the way at halftime. So man, in that second half, nobody being able to get points on the board. So I guess the defenses stepped up a little bit and made sure nothing else would go on the board there. A great game between Walton and Mariana tonight. Man, this one was truly. We talk about defensive games, and this one was truly a defensive battle. I want to pull up the highlights on that one, Spencer, if we can.
Yeah, Thomas was over there tonight, and he said, both defensive lines were just really impressive up front. And as we saw, no scores at the half, and then it came down to a field goal tonight. It came
down to a field goal. Shout out, I'm going to get his name real quick because I want to shout him out on the show. We never give kickers any love on here, so we're going to give Maston Joyner kicking a 25-yard field goal with 5 seconds left to win. Man, that is going to be that's awesome. I wish we caught that because that would have been play of the week. It might have been for them if we could catch the end of the game
at the high school level. You don't see that very often, but quite impressive out there.
Oh yeah.
Walton. I don't know, for anybody who was watching the show, I said big win for Mariana. No, it's clearly a big win for Walton.
Listen, it's okay.
Listen
Braves,
to what I mean,
Bulldogs,
not what I say.
2 Bs. It's all right. People on the show, they're going to get LaToya. We see you there. I pulled up the highlights for LaToya. I was hoping she was watching because I just wanted to make sure that was going on tonight. So
OG fan.
She is an OG fan tonight as well. So can we go back to those scores real quickly? I know some people are waiting to get some of the other things going on tonight. Can we go the second slide, Spencer? If that's okay? That's number 2. Okay. Oh, I apologize. Vernon, I don't believe that score is right on the Jefferson County Vernon game. No, it is not correct because I actually got sent the final score, and the final score was Jefferson County 38-0 over Vernon. So I just want to correct that really quickly. 38-0 was that final score, Jefferson County, and I believe that score for Rocky Bayou and Franklin County is correct, 35-7. And then can we go back to the first slide, if that's okay? Oh. Spencer's changing it on the show. I appreciate it. Going back to just these first ones, if you didn't see, obviously Chipley taking down Freeport. I was pretty shocked to see that tonight. I mean, not shocked really, but Freeport's just been on a roll. They have Ashton Nunes as quarterback, one of the top 5 passers in the state of Florida right now, coming in at 5th. I think he was number 7 today, but was number 5 earlier this week. And then Tracker Thomaston, number 2 in the state for total tackles on the year.
16 tackles a game.
My gosh.
I saw him tonight, and didn't get to put some of those plays in because normally we put in the big offensive plays, but he is all over the ball. I mean, you watch him, and he is just, a field general out there on the defensive side. And wherever the ball is, that's where he's going to be.
That's where he's going to be.
Absolute unit.
I love that he is, and he's not just a defensive. I mean, Coach has said many a times, he's one of their biggest offensive powers, too. I mean, they get the ball to him. He's going to find a way to get it down the field. So it's not just, hey, he's good on the defensive end. He's good on the offensive side, too. So that's.
Right. But, Chipley, they got the job done tonight. Like I said earlier, this was a huge match because they're both in that Region 1 of 1A.
Yeah, both 3-1.
Came in at 3-1.
Right.
Chipley now 4-1, and Freeport falls to 3-2 after 2 tough losses in back-to-back weeks. But that's something that could result in a bye week come playoff time. This game tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And Chipley, people were like, how are they going to be this year? New coach. They have those offensive weapons that they have. So we didn't really know what we were going to get, but man, this was a big statement win for the Tigers program. I know they are celebrating tonight with that win there. Bozeman taking down Weewahitchka. Alex Williams was on the sideline tonight for Weewahitchka. We don't have an update on him. I asked Coach earlier in the week what was going on with him, if there was something, hey, we're wanting to make sure he was okay, praying for him. I didn't get an answer to that, so hopefully we can figure out what's going on with him there, but he was on the sidelines tonight. But still, I mean, Weewahitchka, I have to give them credit. They haven't won a game this season, but this was a close one between the Bozeman Bucks, which is Bozeman, a great team this year.
Right, Bozeman, very impressive so far this year. We mentioned Liberty earlier, who got that big win against Graceville tonight. They knocked off Liberty County earlier this year. Bozeman looking great so far, and then Weewahitchka without Alex Williams to come in and play Bozeman to 1 score. I'm very impressed.
I'm impressed, and I think the Gators deserve some credit there. And John, like we just said, we don't have an update on Alex Williams. He was on the sidelines tonight. I did spy him. I was like, ooh, with my camera. I went, oh, there he is. So I did spy him tonight. I didn't see anything. Obviously, he was walking around, so I was hoping to maybe see something, but no, I didn't see anything there. So I don't have an update for you right now. Hopefully we can get one for you. Carson, if I'm seeing that correctly, sorry, I can't read. Any score for the Pine Forest Pensacola Catholic game? We don't cover Pensacola Catholic or Pine Forest, but I'm sure awesome producer Spencer might be able to give you a final, maybe. our awesome producer Spencer can do a little search for you. We'll try and get that for you guys tonight. But yeah, this week, and especially now halfway through the season, we are seeing teams, kind of emerge and things. I mean, we know who the good teams are, in the area by now, but I'm excited to see where the rest of the season goes, because some of these games tonight really were surprising a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the board right now, and I see Liberty County, Bozeman, Freeport, Chipley, Port St. Joe. Those are all playoff teams.
I honestly, Liberty County, Bozeman, yeah, like you just said. I mean, all of those guys. I mean, and even the ones that aren't undefeated. I mean, Bozeman's not undefeated. Liberty County's not undefeated, but still, I mean, amazing games with these teams. I mean, and they've got awesome things. Liberty County play Port St. Joe this season. I'm going to look up some schedules real quickly, Sam, because some people are asking about schedules. Hey, do we have those Week 5 games? Or Week 6, excuse me. We're in Week 5. Oh, we do. Look at that.
Does not play Port St. Joe this season.
Okay, Liberty does not play Port St. Joe this season.
From earlier, I saw in the comments, Mosley does not play Niceville here this season. So both of those games. But they did
play in the preseason. Right. They played a preseason game, which I did go to. I went to the I want to call it like a jamboree almost, because it really wasn't. I mean, they didn't play two halves between each other. Each quarter was broken down differently. So what happened was Mosley took on Niceville. Their varsity first string players played in the second half. So they played in the second half, and it was 14-13 Niceville, if I'm remembering correctly.
It was a very close game.
It was so close. So that would be a great matchup to watch if they did match up this season. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But here's those Week 6 games. Sorry, I just want to go through them a little bit. Let's see if you guys have any questions about things. I saw Michael Duncan asking about Holmes County's game, Bluntstown and Holmes County. That should be a really good game next week. I know I talked to Holmes County head coach Jeff Lee earlier this week, talking about Jake Riley, who's held the #1 receiver. We'll have to see after tonight, but this week he was the #1 receiver in the state of Florida in receiving yards. So pretty impressive there for Holmes County, but we'll have to see if he holds that. Now, I did talk to Coach Lee, and I said, man, you have had a tough schedule this year. You really have. I mean, they took on Freeport already. They took on Sneads. They took on those big 1A teams already this so far. Now they have to go in and face Bluntstown next week. So.
Right, and they get an extra day, playing on Thursday, getting a big win last night over Jay.
Yeah, over
and
Jay.
then Bluntstown, they have a week off, so both teams should come in with plenty of rest. And like you said, that'll be a great.
That'll be a great team. You'll have to stay tuned to see if it is our game of the week, Michael. I can't tell you just yet if it will be, but we have one Thursday night matchup, Graceville versus Snead, so that should be a little fun one to watch on Thursday night there. North Bay Haven versus Bay, like I said, Bluntstown versus Holmes County, Vernon versus Bozeman. Can we go to the other ones? Escambia County versus Chipley. Ooh, that should be an interesting one. Osceola. I've never known how to say that. Osceola Christian? Osceola? Is that right? Osceola Christian versus Franklin County. Freeport versus Weewahitchka. I'm honestly excited to see that battle too, with how Weewahitchka's doing. I know they haven't won a game, but I think they'll keep it in there with the Bulldogs.
If they can keep that momentum rolling and kind of carry it over and get all the right pieces in,
all the right pieces,
but then again, Freeport coming off of 2 losses, they're gonna be grilling for a win.
They really are. Pensacola takes on Arnold, and I believe we have a few more. Rutherford versus Walton, South Walton versus Mariana. That should be a fun one. Mosley versus Choctaw. Crestview versus Niceville, and Liberty County versus Northside. So I think we have a good slate of games for next week. Marty, it would be sweet to see my hometown Baker Gators win another state championship. Marty, I know you love the Baker Gators, so I agree, would be cool to see, but we'll have to see at that 1A class.
Port St. Joe, Blountstown, Madison County, Hawthorne. There's a lot of schools out there.
Yeah, they have to get through some pretty tough teams to win another state title. So if they do win another one, it will be very impressive because they will have gone through all of those incredible teams. I love the people sounding off with who is playing each week. Man, you guys know the schedules like the back of your hands. We just got to ask you next time. I
will say October 8th, they kind of circling the calendar there for Port St. Joe and South Walton.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen a lot of scoring so far this season, that match could be in the centennial mark.
I like that teams. One. Yeah, they both. Honestly, that one may be a really, really good tester to see how good Port St. Joe is on the 1A side of things, to see if South Walton can take down a 1A team like Port St. Joe. If they can't, Port St. Joe's up there with Baker, right?
Sharks 2 points allowed this season. I don't like to, look into the crystal ball of the future, but I think South Walton's going to put up more than 2 points come that game.
I think South Walton's going to put up more than 2 as well.
At least a couple touchdowns over there.
At least a couple touchdowns.
That'll be a great game.
We'll have to hold you to that. We'll have to hold you to that when it comes that, 10-8, October 8th?
October 8th. It's my prediction. Bold prediction.
Well, I believe that's everything we got for week 5. Anything else you want to add about this week's games or anything?
A great week. Like we said, certain teams kind of stepping apart from the pack. Mosley, Port St. Joe, Blountstown, they had the bye week. But then again tonight, Shipley looking very impressive.
Yeah,
that's one team that I might circle and
I think they're
keep your eye on them. They could be a contender come playoff time.
I think they're a little bit of a sleeper team. Absolutely. I really do. I think they're a sleeper team that could make a really deep run.
And I gotta mention, they didn't even have one of their top players there tonight. Alsethany McGee, he was hurt last week. Hurt this week. He should be back next week.
Okay.
Dealing with a little leg injury there, but should be back. They got the job done tonight without one of their top players, that Marshall commit and Alsethany McGee.
Well, that's some bonus info for the fans there at home. That's some bonus info. So, Coach Olds, yep, you are definitely right. A fun week coming up. But look, the lights are going off here. We should probably go home, right? You guys, we appreciate you guys for sticking with us and watching. Obviously, if you want to see all the highlights, you're like, where'd the highlights go? Well, that's because we do them on our Friday Night Fever show every Friday night at 10:15. You're going to have to turn that channel to News 13 in order to watch those. And we advise you to watch the shows together. So, watch the highlights, then come out and hang out with us in the show and chat with us and have a good time with us. Yeah, it's a good 1-2. There you go. Yeah, exactly. They go together. They're not supposed to be watched separately, so they go together. So watch that every Friday night at 10:15 on News 13. But that's all the time we have for this evening. We hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you all next Friday.